From the outside looking in, it seems like DSP should be struggling, or as he likes to put it,
I may be living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, begging for fucking tips and shit on stream for the rest of my life.
but when his bank leaks were revealed in 2021, it showed just how much he was really taking in, but more importantly, how much he was really wasting. The same thing happened when Twitch's biggest donations per subscriber information was leaked, and he was #1 on the list, meaning he received the most in bits and cheers per subscriber than anyone else on the website. But when you look at his YouTube channel, and you see that he has over 200,000 subscribers, but his live streams usually have the same 200 to 300 people there every day, with more than half of those just being people looking for drama or wanting to troll him, the numbers don't really add up. Now, for those of you that watch this stuff on a daily basis, you know that DSP is kept alive by the same 7 or 8 people. Meanwhile, the rest of his money comes in from a small group of subhumans. But I wanted to look and see just how much of his tips, because tips are what he cares about the most, as you know. He can use those tips to pay his daily bills. I wanted to see how much of those tips are actually coming from a small handful of people. So I started going stream by stream, and, well, let's see what I found. I started with the Friday, June 2nd night stream, and Phil finished with the ridiculous $1,086 in tips alone. How'd he get to that total, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked me that, and it's the point of this entire video. Because Phil got a $1,000 tip from Action Jackson, aka Ajax Araxor, and as most of you know, this isn't even the first time that old Jaxie boy has tipped Phil $1,000. What possibly goes through your mind to give somebody $1,000 one time, much less twice? How demented do you have to be? And the answer is, he's so demented that he forgot to put his name on the fucking $1,000 tip. What do you even say? This guy shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. He's a fucking menace out here. These people, man. But I'm not gonna harp on this too much because we got a long ways to go. So $1,000 from Jax and $65 came from Game Trekker. So that means of the $1,086 in tips, $1,065 of it came from 2 people, which means that $21 came from everyone else that isn't a whale. You're not off to a good start here, Phil. Let's go to the June 2nd day stream, and the devil himself finishes with $163. Now, 90 of that came from the subhuman known as Game Trekker. Surprise, surprise. And 1 Minute Man gave his usual tithe of $20. There was $23 from a couple of different people, but they tipped under anonymous, so I'm not going to include them with the whales. That means of the $163 in tips, 110 came from 2 people, and $53 came from everyone else. That's not too bad. Let's go over to the Thursday, June 1st night stream. The Führer finishes with $71 in tips, and one of the most amazing things happened on this night. Phil got 2 $25 tips from Brianna. And before we touch on that some more, let's finish up the numbers. So that's $50 from Brianna, aka Only Iced Coffee. And there was a couple of smaller tips throughout the night, probably from the same person, but they were so small, we won't worry about those. So that's $50 from one whale and $21 from everyone else. Now, when we look at Brianna's channel, they just created it the first night they came along and tipped DSP. But they even uploaded videos of themselves playing Minecraft and speaking. And I went and listened to a couple of them, and it's not surprising that I can tell who it is. I mean, damn near half the comments are saying that they know who it is. But OIC is role-playing and acting like they're a girl and a new fan, etc., etc. And it's just, how long are you going to keep doing this? You think you're trolling, and in reality, everybody's laughing at you and feeling sorry for you, myself included. And we get it, man. You don't have anybody or anything else in your life, and the one person you cling on to the most thinks you're a fucking loser and doesn't ever want to meet up with you. But it's like I called it a long time ago. This dude is either gay or trans and just doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to come out of the closet. But it's Pride Month, dude, and DSP is a proud ally. So just reveal yourself and maybe DSP will accept you and even meet up with you. And then you can do all those secret things that you wanted to do to him, like this one here. Good luck, Brianna. Now let's shoot over to the Thursday daytime stream, and Phil finishes with $155 in tips. And after what we just saw in the last segment, Jinx, aka Only Iced Coffee, gives $115. 1 Minute Man also gave his daily tithe of $20, So that means of the $155 in tips, $135 came from 2 whales and $20 came from everyone else. It's incredible, but Phil was off on Wednesday, so we move over to the Tuesday, May 30th night stream. And this was the easiest one by far for me because DSP received a whopping massive $27 in tips. And 25 of it came from the dented one, aka Dent Boxer. That means Phil's huge, massive, positive fan base tipped him a total of $2 that night. And quite frankly, DSP, that's pretty much what your streams are worth when it doesn't have the same 7 or 8 whales in there every night. Let's go on to the Tuesday daytime stream, and Phil finishes with $67 in tips. And would you imagine my shock when $20 came from Brianna and $20 came from 1 Minute Man? That means $40 from 2 whales and $27 from everyone else. The Monday, May 29th night stream was next. Phil ended that session with $62 in tips, with $30 coming from the subhuman known as Haseo, and $15 coming from Canadian Kirk, aka Bent Boxer. The other 17 were from 2 anonymous tippers, but I won't count them since they chose to remain anonymous, even though I know for a fact that one of them was Timbo Slice. So that's $45 of the $62 from 2 whales and $17 from everyone else. We then move on to Monday's daytime stream, where Phil finished with $64, with 20 of it coming from Jinx, aka Only Iced Coffee, and $20 coming from 1 Minute Man, 19 coming from a bunch of $1 anonymous tips, most of them likely being the same person because the messages all seem to link together. But again, we won't count those. So that's 40 of the $64 coming from 2 whales and $24 coming from everyone else. We then go to the Sunday, May 28th night stream, and Phil finished with $57, with 24 of it coming from Canadian Kirk, aka Dent Boxer. There was a $13 tip from Crystal Laser, but I'm not considering him a whale. I'm mainly looking for the same 7 or 8 people. So that's 24 of the 57 coming from 1 whale, and $33 coming from a bunch of smaller tips. Overall, that's not too bad. So now we go to the Sunday daytime stream. Phil finished with a measly pittance of $30, with 20 of it coming from 1 Minute Man, and the other 10 coming from Tarantula MS. This was a brutal stream. So that's 20 of the $30 coming from 1 whale, and the other 10 coming from 1 dolphin. And keep in mind, this was a day stream. On to the Sunday, May 27th night stream. Philip, Paul, David Burnell earns a king's ransom of $29, with 21 of it coming from Haseo. There was a handful of dollar tips scattered throughout, and one of those tips was $1 from Haseo, saying there's someone in chat impersonating him. Well, cry me a river there, buddy, because I really don't give a shit. Now let's go to the Saturday daytime stream, and Phil earns a very cool $106 on an episode of DSP Reacts. Now $50 came from Lisa Lou, aka Only Iced Coffee, $30 came from Game Trekker, and $20 came from 1 Minute Man, aka Planet Jeff. That means 100 of the $106 came from 3 whales, and everyone else was responsible for 6 measly dollars. Now we're going to take a little detour here, and I'm going to do this every so often throughout the video. We've covered 12 streams so far, that's 2 per day, so in reality we've covered 6 full days. Now in those 6 full days, Phil has made $1,917 in tips total. Of that $1,917, $1,685 of it has come from the following 6 people: Haseo, 1 Minute Man, Only Iced Coffee, Game Trekker, Bent Boxer, and Jax Raxor. That means that in 12 streams, over 6 days, the rest of Phil's huge fan base has tipped $232 total, which averages out to $38 per day or $19 per stream. Now this doesn't include super chats and memberships, which, by the way, a lot of those memberships are gifted and a bunch of them come from these same people. So when I tell you that his life is essentially funded by the same 8 or 9 whales, you can take that literally. Now before we get back into the pictures, let's watch a quick DSP clip that will make us all laugh.
I'm not even fucking around. If I see you say it once, you're banned. This is your one warning. If I see it in chat, you are banned. I don't care if you're a regular. I don't care who the fuck you are. If I see it, you're banned. Period. I'm not putting up with your bullshit. Trying to be toxic on my fucking stream. I'm having fun here. And all of a sudden I look at the stream chat. Everyone, oh, Nazis, Nazis, Hitler, Nazis. No, how about this? Banned, 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 banned. Gone. Forever. Because I don't put up with your fucking bullshit. Your toxic shit is not welcome on my fucking streams ever. So get the fuck out now. It's not a funny fucking joke. It's not. You're out of here. So I'm done with it. If I see it once, you're banned. And you're not coming back. No begging me in emails. Can I be unbanned? I didn't know. Fuck you, you toxic idiot. You gotta bring up fucking Nazis on my stream. Fuck you. You're banned. Period. Now everyone acts like they didn't say it when it's been said for the past 10 fucking minutes. So I can't wait for the first idiot to be fucking banned right now. Alright. Now can I concentrate on the game and have fun? Instead of listening to stupid dumb shit? That'd be great. That'd be really great.
Yes, my Fuhrer. Yes. I love that clip so much, man. And the next clip we watch a little later is going to be another classic. Trust me. Now let's go over to the Friday, May 26th night stream. DSP earns $51 in tips, with 39 of it coming from someone called Chunky Monkey. Now, this is obviously a sock account, but the truth is I don't know who it was, so I can't count it towards the total whale numbers. But it still means that of the $51 in tips that night, 39 was from one person and $12 came from everyone else. So how about the Friday daytime stream? Phil earns $222 in tips, with 100 of it coming from NDO, $20 coming from 1 Minute Man, $15 coming from Jinx, and $25 coming from Lisa Lou, who are both the same person. There was also a $20 Murdoch tip, but DSP doesn't give a shit about that guy anymore, so we're not going to count him. That means of the $222 in tips, 180 of it came from 4 people, and $42 came from everyone else. Now, keep in mind that there's a bunch of $1 and $2 tips from Canadian Kirk and others that I'm just lumping in with everyone else. I'm only looking for whale contributions. Let's go over to the Thursday, May 25th night stream. The King of Suffering, Dave Bennett, earns a whopping $21 in tips. All the whales must have been working at SeaWorld this night, as he just kept getting a bunch of anonymous $2 and $3 tips. And he looks so defeated at the end of the stream. I love it. And then how about the May 25th daytime stream? Phil gets $115 in tips, with 30 of it coming from the subhuman known as Haseo, 21 coming from Lisa Lou, aka Only Iced Coffee, and $20 coming from 1 Minute Man. There was also a $12 tip from a sock account that I'm pretty sure was OIC, but they used a fake one-time name, so I'll let it slide. But that means of the $115 in tips, 71 came from the 3 whales, and $44 came from everyone else. Phil was off on May 24th, so that takes us to the Tuesday, May 23rd night stream, and he made a whopping $173 in tips. This was also the night of the infamous wheeljacking story, which the more we think about it, it doesn't make any sense, but I'll leave that up to other people. $100 came from George Costanza, aka Dent Boxer, and 51 came from Jinx, aka You Know Who. That means of the $173 in tips, 151 came from 2 people, and $22 came from everyone else. Now let's go to the May 23rd daytime stream, and this was the one that he had to leave a little early because his lovely wife had been texting him for 30 minutes about the wheel being stolen, but DSP was too busy with this video game, and also earning $50 in tips, don't forget about that. So she had to sit there at work and wait for him to finish. When I went back and looked at this one, he seemed very disappointed at the end, almost like he expected a couple $100 to flood in because of the bullshit story he came up with. Now, 1 Minute Man did his daily tithe of $20. There was a $10 tip from someone claiming to be Ryan, but it could have been anyone. There's no way to tell if it was OIC or not. And there was a couple of pittance tips from Canadian Kirk, but overall 20 of the $50 in tips was from 1 whale, and everyone else gave 30. Let's move on to the Monday, May 22nd night stream. And Phil brings in a very cool $19. Now, this is what a real DSP stream is like. There was a total of 7 tippers that night, and they were all $5 or less, with most of them being $1.50 tips. This is a real DSP stream without one fucking whale. And this right here is why he panics so much, feigns distress the way that he does, and begs as much as he does. Because he knows without those whales, he would be right back to $19 streams. Now, let's go to the May 22nd day stream, and to further prove my point, Phil ends this one with $177 in tips, And would you look at that? The top tip is $100 from Haseo. 1 Minute Man also provided his daily tithe of $20. There was another $20 tip from someone under a sock account, but I couldn't tell who it was, as well as a $17 tip from Darren. That means 4 people were responsible for $157 in tips, and everybody else was responsible for $20. Now, let's cover one more day, and then we'll do a little detour and add up some numbers. This brings us to the Sunday, May 21st stream, which was a special fight and feast, where Phil dressed up as Ryu, or whatever the hell you call that thing on your screen right now, and he managed to pull in an astounding $1,327. Now, I know y'all remember this since it wasn't that long ago, but this was a stream where he was taking shots of quote-unquote tequila, and he outed Jinx as Ryan. And it's funny that the tips from Jinx stopped that day as soon as that happened. But before Phil had that slip up, Jinx, Only Iced Coffee, had given Phil $1,100 all by himself. And you see, this is why I'm making this video. This is why I'm going through all this effort. We all know he survives off of his whales, but I want to put it in black and white for you. I want you to see the actual numbers in a video, just so Phil himself, because you know he's going to watch this, has to sit there on his day off and think about copyright striking it, because he doesn't want to see the truth, just like his fucking scam wedding. But yeah, $1,100 came from Jinx. Someone named King Toot gave $50, but I couldn't tell who it was. Game Tracker gave $30, and 1 Minute Man gave $20. There was also an anonymous $30 tip and $20 as well from someone named Evo Trophy, but I won't count those towards the whale numbers. So of the $1,327, 1,200 of it came from 4 people, and obviously the majority came from 1 person. Meanwhile, everyone else was responsible for $127, which wouldn't be bad on a regular day, but it wasn't even 10% of the total tips. Alright, and it's time for a little detour. So Phil streamed 21 times across 11 days, and in those 11 days, he made a grand total of $4,072 in tips alone, which averages out to $370 per day. Now, that's obviously inflated because of 2 streams, and you'd have to take a small amount out for PayPal fees, but he still got most of that money. And of that $4,072, $3,356 of it came from the following 7 people: Haseo, Bent Boxer, Only Iced Coffee, 1 Minute Man, Game Trekker, NDO, and Jax Raxor. That means over the course of 11 days, Phil made $716 in tips from everybody else, which doesn't sound bad, but when you average it out, it turns into $65 per day or $34 in tips per stream. Do you see why he can't afford to get rid of OIC, despite all the shit this guy has done? And just to lighten things up, let's watch another funny clip before we get back into the last set of numbers.
I don't know. Big Bane did a super chat and said, I'll give you $200 to do 25 push-ups non-stop. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 25. Here we go. All right. Woo! I did 25 real push-ups on my floor. I actually did do them, but there's no way you could see it because I can't aim the camera to look over there. But I actually just did do 25 push-ups. Whew. I did them real fast. I shouldn't have done them that fast. I should have taken my time. Okay. So you better send the $200. He wasn't going to do it anyways, full of shit. But people think that like I can't do push-ups or something for some reason. I don't know why. I just did it easily. But the problem is like there's no way I can adjust my camera and everything to even turn that way because of the cords and everything. So, whew. Okay. I did it too fast. Now I'm out of breath. Okay, ready to continue? He should pay up. He's probably not going to, but he should pay up. Okay, what does this mean? It could mean that he was attacked. I don't even know where it's available. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, there hasn't been $200 tip. The guy was a liar. I fucking go and do the push-ups, and he says, "Oh, yeah, no bullshit. You said do the push-ups. I did them, and now you're not gonna fucking, you're not gonna do it because you're an asshole, basically. You're a liar. You're a dishonest person. It's fucked up." Okay. Big Bane, sorry, that's not how it works. You said do 25 push-ups. I literally immediately hit the floor and did 25 push-ups. And now you're saying, oh, well, I want you to rotate the camera and set it up. Fuck you. No, I mean it. Fuck you. You didn't say any of that at first. You don't get to change criteria after it's already done. That would be like saying, I want you to go do this job for me. Someone immediately does the job and they say, oh, well, I actually wanted you to do the job with this criteria. Go do it again. No, that's not how it works. We had a verbal agreement. You failed to live up to the agreement, so go fuck yourself. Thanks for the super chat. What a dunce. Anyway, do you really think I was gonna have time to rotate the camera, set it up perfectly to show you? No, I shit all over my floor. I literally just hit the floor, any space I had, and did the push-ups real quick, and I jumped right back to continue with the stream. You think this whole stream's gonna be fucking push-up city for you? Do I just drop everything I do for you? Fuck you, fucking asshole. So either you tip $200 or you get the fuck out and don't come back because you're a liar. How about that? Dumbass. I didn't think he was going to pay it anyway. I'm just saying it was just fucking around. But still, he's an asshole. Okay. Always Hot T says that was mean. Damn straight it was fucking mean because the guy's a dick. The guy's a fucking little limp dick prick. He's going to come on my stream and try to take control of it by saying I should do push-ups. I immediately do them with shocks him because he didn't think I was going to do it. And now he won't pay up because he's a fucking dishonest piece of shit. So he can go fuck himself. He deserves every piece of abuse I'm giving him. He's an asshole. It's right. It's called calling a bluff. The guy's a little limp dick loser.
That one should have been titled Scammer versus Scammer. Phil, that's what they call fuck around and find out. You get what you deserve. So now we go over to the Saturday, May 20th night stream. And Phil finishes with the $167 in tips. And once again, would you imagine my shock when I looked up and saw that $150 of the $167 came from one person. And that was old Jinxie. Surprise, surprise. That means $17 came from everyone else. Very supportive group you got there, Phil. Let's go over to the May 20th daytime stream. And Phil finishes with the $158 in tips. It's mind-blowing how this guy can cry poor and feign distress the way that he does, despite his financials being up front and literally on a screen right in front of these people's face. It takes a hell of a type of person to do this stuff, and, well, that's how you get Phil Burnell. But that's also where all of the good Samaritans come into play. God bless all of the good Samaritans out there. But someone named Dad Joke tipped $50. I have a feeling it was the three-letter bitch, but there's no way to prove it. So we move on. Game Trekker tipped $30, 1 Minute Man did his daily tithe of $20, and Jinx/Brianna contributed $39. So, assuming that Dad Joke and OIC weren't the same person, that means of the $158 in tips, Phil received $139 of it from 4 people, which means $19 came from everyone else. Alright, and we got 2 more days to cover, so this brings us to the Friday, May 19th night stream. And he finished with $164 in tips. And stop me if you heard this one before. 150 of it came from Jinx, who said they were going to be out at a party somewhere. Well, Jinx, I got bad news for you. Making playthroughs on YouTube with the voice modulator feature isn't being out at a party with friends. We already discussed this. You don't have any friends, and you definitely don't go to parties. But Phil thanks you for the very generous contribution. There was also a $10 tip from someone named Scoresman that did an old Howard Stern joke. It was likely the same loser, but whatever. So that means of the $164 in tips, $150 came from one person and $14 came from everyone else. Let's go over to the May 19th day stream, and Phil finishes with $174 in tips. 110 of it came from Jinx, of course. He can't let his master go a few hours without money, apparently. And $20 comes from 1 Minute Man. So of the $174, $130 comes from 2 people, and $44 comes from everyone else. We then go to the last day that we're covering here, and that's the Thursday, May 18th night stream. And like a broken fucking record, Phil finishes with $159 in tips, with $150 of it coming from the same subhuman. And again, the entire point of this video, the rest of Phil's very supportive audience gave $9 in tips. I love it. And then the final one, the May 18th day stream. And like Deja Vu, Phil finishes with 159 on that stream as well. 112 of it comes from one person. Meanwhile, 20 comes from the other subhuman known as 1 Minute Man. That means of the $159 in tips, 132 of it comes from 2 whales, and $27 came from everyone else. Alright, and let's do some forbidden math here. So we covered 14 full days, which ended up being 27 streams total, because one day was a Fight and Feast marathon. So 2 full weeks worth of streams, so you can't say I was cherry picking. And in those 2 weeks, Phil made $5,053 in tips alone. And of that $5,053, 4,157 of it came from the following 7 people. Haseo, Dent Boxer, Only Iced Coffee, 1 Minute Man, Game Trekker, NDO, and Jax Raxor. That means that in 2 weeks, everyone else tipped $896, which averages out to $64 per day or $33 per stream. And keep in mind, some of those tips from quote-unquote everyone else could have been and probably were tips from these same people, undersock accounts. And just to show you, I'm going to put some pictures up. I could have kept going, but I chose to stop at 2 weeks because I felt I proved my point. And yeah, Phil's making a lot of money right now, but it's going to dry up. And the reason it's going to dry up is because the same 7 people can't do it forever. So once that does happen, Phil, you can probably expect $33 in tips or less per stream. And then we're going to go right back to the good old days of black shirt, I may have to sell my house if you guys don't step it up, emergency videos. So keep on playing those mobile games, Phil. They make you happy, and trust me, they make us very happy as well. Go fuck yourself.
Who the hell is Super Crazy? I have no idea who that is, the cat. Who is Super Crazy? Wasn't Super Crazy a fucking luchador wrestler a long time ago? I think he was. I'm pretty sure.
Glasses, check.
He's a detractor? Oh, I wouldn't know that. I pay no attention to any of that shit. They did